Police enter a residence to find a subject alone and unresponsive. The apartment is a sealed environment. The front door is secured with a deadbolt from the inside. The scene contains no indicators of a struggle. No marks on the doorframe, no foreign fingerprints on the hardware, and no record of emergency calls. Amidst the silence of the room, investigators recovered one active piece of electronics, a smartphone lying on the floor. This schematic traces a specific routing anomaly. Every night at 3:12 a.m., the device initiates a connection following a circular path, transmitting a data packet to its own internal number. Processing that packet reveals a 4-word text string: "I'm already inside." Understanding how the subject ended up in this locked room requires a step-by-step review of the interactions stored in the phone's cache from that night. The logs suggest that modern hauntings don't require a spiritual medium. They can exist as a recurring sequence of data. At 2:59 a.m., the subject drafts a message to an ex-partner. They type out a sentence, hesitate, and then clear the text field entirely before locking the screen. This logic flow shows a breakdown in standard command processing. While the user deleted the draft, the system overrides the command, routing the original text string directly to the outgoing server. The subject sees the message appear in the chat as sent. They immediately try to delete the entry from the chat window to prevent the recipient from seeing it. Seconds later, typing indicators appear on the other side of the conversation. According to network logs, however, the account associated with that profile has been inactive for several months. A series of responses arrive in quick succession. The sender asks who is messaging them and states that the subject should never have reached out. At this point in the timeline, the logs depict a standard scenario of digital harassment, with the subject appearing to be the target of an outside intruder. As the digital exchange escalates, the physical door handle begins to rotate. It is forced downward by someone on the other side. New messages arrive on the phone, synchronized with the movement of the handle. The sender asks if the subject remembers the last time and how the previous encounter ended. The device logs then undergo a major refresh. This timeline graph shifts the perspective to a date months earlier, revealing a high-volume spike in messages centered around 3:12 a.m. Expanding that 3:12 a.m. window shows the direction of the messages. The subject was the one sending aggressive outbound texts, while the ex-partner sent defensive pleas to stay away. The historical log terminates with one final outbound message sent by the subject: "I'm already inside." Back in the current timeline, the handle continues to turn. The incoming messages command the subject to open the door, stating, "You're already here." The archival data reveals the truth of the encounter. The phone isn't being manipulated by a hacker. It is surfacing the subject's own history, forcing the confrontation with a recorded event they had suppressed. The digital signature of the sender matches the subject's own device ID. The system is replaying the exact data sequence from the night the subject stalked their ex-partner, mirroring the same timestamps and message content. This historical context explains the police report's note regarding the lack of forced entry. Since the subject sent the message, "I'm already inside," months ago, the locked door indicates they have remained at the scene of the crime, unable to move past the moment the police discovered them. The 3:12 a.m. transmission functions as a recurring system error, an automated witness that prevents the final entry in the chat log from being deleted. Our devices do more than just facilitate conversation. They serve as permanent, objective records that can hold us within the specific minutes and seconds of our past.